As you are aware, there are numerous employees working for our company. The majority of them would like to know more about you as a person. Some will take the initiative and attempt to approach you first. It's rather funny, knowing who you are will not do anything to improve their odds. There are no regulations to prevent them from coming all the way to your office to interact with you face to face, unfortunately. It seems the one who set those rules in place did not consider situations like this. And I suppose this may be a good opportunity for you to show them that you are generous and caring enough to have the chit-chats with your subordinates. Words tend to travel faster than you think. I will not stop you with meeting with someone if there are employees who wish to visit you. But please keep in mind that you do not have to do everything they ask of you. Simply thank them for their effort. Tell them you hope that they will keep up the good work. That will benefit both parties, don't you think? Are you still following me? What we need is a gesture of goodwill and nothing more. Do not go overboard and listen to whatever nonsense they have to say. Give them a vending machine and next they will come knocking, demanding a bar. I expect you to make the right decision. And now we can open up the new department, information. We won't get a cutscene for Yasad today because he doesn't have time to introduce himself. This Malkuth is a sole exception where she gets a cutscene saying that you open control. So yeah, information. Purple boys. Hello and welcome back to the Lobotomy Corp. As I said, we have a new department, information, and I've moved Goom and Christopher down there. Everyone else is staying in control. There's only one abnormality information. It's AN, so they should be fine. Goom's really just there to deal with the new threat, the Dawn Ordeals. They'll show up at the end of Meltdown Level 2, and we could probably handle any of them. There's only one I'm a little worried about, and I'll just hope it doesn't show up. We've also added one new employee. So yeah. I made them a long time ago, and there's finally enough room in the department for them to work. And we have reached the end of the employee stockpile. It's a basic strategy. New abnormality isn't really anything special, so let's just get started. Opened Can of Wellcheers is a Zayan abnormality that is just okay. Not very good among the Zayan abnormalities. Its best work rates are in Instinct and Insight, and it does red damage. It has a unique gimmick where completing different types of works will heal different amounts of HP and or SP, depending on what type of the work was. Performing Instinct will heal 40% of your max HP. Performing Insight will heal 40% of your max SP. And then performing Attachment or Repression will heal 30% of both HP and SP. However, if you get a bad result in any work type, your agent is instantly killed. Its work type percentages are high enough for this not really to be a massive threat if you're not working with it constantly, but it's just kind of annoying when it happens. It just means you failed a roll. You have to fail pretty heavily to make it not happen, as long as you're working with either Instinct or Insight, though. Its suit is not very good, as is typical for Zayan suits. Its weapon is the first gun we have, and it's one of the only Zayan guns, but it's not great other than that. It only does 1 to 2 damage, and it's Zayan, so it'll fall off even further than that. And its gift is literally just +2 health. Amazing. Overall, it's just a typical Zayan. Relatively safe, it can't breach at all or anything like that, but there's not really going to be much profit in working with it. Yet again, I failed twice on this day. The first attempt was just the one problem ordeal came up. I'll explain it later when it actually is relevant to a successful day, but Mr. Black ended up dying. I tried to have him retreat, I just did a tad too late on that. And I just don't want to continue on with the dead employee, just how I play. And then the second of the 2 failures is a bit more interesting. It has to do with our new friend. It's that I had Goom work a 70% work rate and he managed to fail 6 boxes. Just bad RNG. And he died. It was literally super early into the day. Second work with it, I think. Yeah. But our successful day One's a bit better. My strategy was just training. Start off with Goom going to the new thing, open Can of Wellcheers, Christopher going to Fragment, and our new employee working with mostly Fairy Festival the entire day. This time Goom only failed 1 box instead of 6, which is more typical. It's really weird how he managed to fail 6 considering he has the highest work success stat in the entire facility, but whatever. I'm trying to get Wellcheers worked on without unlocking its stuff because I really don't like how its gift works. Looks, personally. So, and its gift unlocks at observation level 1, so as soon as I buy any of its information, it'll unlock its gift, and I can say, bruh. And I was just having trouble deciding who to send to a Fragment here. I decided on B because she's closest to leveling up to level 3, so she'll be less useful later on for working with it, just because its work rates will drop once she hits level 3. Other than that, just a typical day, except for the Dawn Ordeal coming up. Because I noted it was a Crimson Dawn. The way Crimson Dawn works is that it spawns in the hallways and tries to affect your abnormalities in containment. So I moved people outside of Fragment because I expect it. I was hoping that you'll deal with it, that they spawn there. Mr. Black and Marie are moving over there. And then, for right now, I'm just continuing to progress the day. But I also will move Christopher and Goom back to the information hallway. Also, the way it spawns means that there might not even be one information. I don't know exactly the way it spawns. I know the number that spawns is 1 per department. I expected it to spawn information. Information, it did not. That's what I said. So right now I'm kind of just working more slowly, trying to get. And now, Ordeal spawns. So we have 1 spawning in the Fragment hallway and 1 spawning in the Winston hallway. What they do is they go outside to the door and they try to drain the positive boxes, which are what you buy equipment with. And they try to lower the Kolpoth counter. If they're at the door for too long, both will happen. If they die, they self-destruct and deal red damage to anything standing close to them. That's why a bunch of clerks died. And also, that's why Marie and Mr. Black are like around half health each. But I did the math and they should have been fine even if they got hit by the second self-destruct. And they were. Only Marie got hit, you ended up with 3 health. That's fine. I probably could have ended the day here, but I wanted to unlock more of Wellcheers information and just work on racing stats a bit more, so I kept going. It really just depends. I didn't get Wellcheers done today, but we have a lot of time with it left in information. And it's not really a high priority anyway, because its gear isn't really that good. If we have all this information, I just wanted to buy 1 copy of the suit and then at least 1 copy of the gun. Other than that, day progresses as normal. I mean, really not much is happening from this point on. I guess I could explain why Wellcheers is even worse than training it the normal design, though now I'm working with it a lot. So part of training is that you need missing health to work instinct, missing SP to train insight, and missing health and SP to train attachment better than normal. And because Wellcheers will always heal you after a work with it, it makes it even worse than training the normal Zains. It's like one of the worst trainers in the game. And Justice has no requirement for health or missing because they're out of health stats, but so you just want to have high Justice rates to train it successfully, because another thing that depends on training is just how much positive boxes you get, or successes or whatever you want to call them. But it only has a common work rate with Justice, which is just not very good, especially for a Teth. And also, training Justice with it is just allowing the RNG to kind of screw you over, because if you get a failure with it, you're going to have somebody die no matter what. It's an instant kill. Fragment is no longer a problem. it was cut out of the video, but I did successfully suppress it when I was trying to record Wellcheers' instant kill. It literally took so many attempts that another Dawn Ordeal happened. It was Crimson, and I did not send people out into the hallway this time, and so Fragment was able to escape, but I was able to suppress it, so it's no longer a facility-ending mega threat already. Also, it's just kind of funny to me that it took so many tries to kill it, and then it just happened randomly. And that's it for today. Just basic training continues to be done. I've had a few decent rises in stats, but I really need more deaths or even HEs, which are gonna start showing up soon to really get more efficient with training, because it's kind of plateaued. We also really need something to raise justice. It's kind of shown by how slow we are. Everyone's still rocking the default. I might have to spend lob boosting justice soon. I would rather not, though. I don't like spending more lob. So we got TO2 43. Unsurprisingly, a single employee volunteered to retrieve the corpse of their cocooned colleague. Oh, for 100. The more blood it has, the more beautiful it is. TO299. Please eat my dreams. You've shown up twice in a row. Amazing. All of these are tests, so I guess I'm fine with any of them. Only one of them breaches, which is kind of important for later, which is this one. But he's kind of, as I said yesterday, his role is literally completely overlapped by a fragment. I've heard 4100 is annoying, but I can't really remember why. Well, I got this one, so whatever. And now it is time for soda lore. Hey, have you guys ever been to one of those Lobotomy meetups? Mind you, it took a lot of courage for me to bring this up again. You see, there's a bunch of clubs in this company where employees gather up. I once attended some kind of ping pong event group thing, but there weren't any girls there, so I pulled out real quick. A lol. So one day I saw this announcement for some weird get-together on the corp message board. I got interested, so I called up the group leader and introduced himself as Redacted, from safety. I asked if there were any girls in the group. He told me right away there were a ton of female employees. Now that got me super interested, so I signed up right away for the upcoming meetup. So I showed up, got a name tag like everyone else. I don't remember anything, but I think I saw 3 people from training and 2 from information. About maybe half an hour later, the leader brought in dozens of cans of Wellcheers on a tray and gave one to each of us. I should have realized something was wrong the moment because the can was already opened, but I'm a sucker for soda. I just gulped the dang thing down my throat the moment he passed me a can. Lamau. After that, the leader told us it's time to move, and he said he got a van rented for us. We all thought he was an awesome guy for that. I hopped in the van with 2 employees from the Horde and 1 guy from the same department as me. The leader said it was going to take an hour drive, so we could just nap if we wanted, so we did. Weird thing is though, I went to sleep real fast. The moment I shut my eyes, I was out like a light. I have insomnia, but for whatever reason I fell asleep so fast then. That was my big mistake. Anyways, I was sound asleep, but then I heard seagulls and I was like, WTF? Seagulls? Yeah, at first I thought it was someone's phone alarm, but then I heard waves crashing. I was like, man, this is way too good to be a boat alarm. So when I asked to find myself lying on a deck, I was on a gosh darn boat, Lamfau. An actual real life boat. I knew I was screwed the moment I saw shrimp hopping around. Sent chills down my spine. I wanted to believe it was all a dream, but I swear that shrimp's realistic flopping was a sobering sight. The realization crushed me like a hammer. And I was surrounded by people who looked like they were the crew. They were all beefed up, and I felt like they'd put me to sleep with force if I said something wrong. One slip and I'd be swimming with sharks. The crew was something around 10 people, including the captain, boatswain, cook, and all that. They all chuckled at me while I was spacing out. The guy who looked like the captain walked towards me, asking me about my height and weight. I asked him when the ship goes to port. He told me it'd be about a month, but that I shouldn't try to run away or anything because they already made a deal with my people. I had no dang clue who my people were, but I was too scared to ask. Then the other crew members called me over to lunch. They were making instant ramen, putting shrimp, clams, crabs, and all sorts of other stuff in it. They told me to stop acting like I was about to jump into the sea and to try their ramen. I said no at first, but they laughed at me again, saying there were sleeping pills like that and there was stuff in it, but then gave me some anyway. A man's gotta live, so I ate it. It tasted better than I expected it to. As soon as I finished lunch, they told me they were going to teach me how to adjust the ropes. French gave up at that point, so I answered, sure. All I could see anywhere was the little islands that no one had to have a chance of surviving on. For about a month, I learned how to pull up fish traps, fill bait boxes, repair fishing nets, cook some ramen, get coffee, and all kinds of stuff. I kept getting better, and I got to the point where I could prepare mackerel, sashimi, and fish stew for the crew. Everyone complimented it. Said I could form a restaurant with that stew. Later on, I went through a couple of typhoons. Them and I started forming some kind of bond. relationship. Whales were becoming more common in sight at that point. 2 weeks in, the captain told me I was pretty good and I asked if I was interested in officially joining the crew. When I thought about it, I would have been fired from the Corps anyway, so this seems like a legit opportunity to make a living. This is the first time I ever got a compliment after all. What am I doing now? Well, I've been promoted, now I'm living fine. I found true happiness in cracking open a cold one after a hard day's work, covered in seawater and sweat. I'm at the port now, but we gotta take off soon to catch some more shrimp. Never know what your future holds, bros. Sometimes I think about the other folk who were at the meetup that day. Not that I really want to sleep around to find out, though. I just try to keep a positive mind. I want to say they're hopefully doing good just like me. Oh, it's time to sail out. See you guys. What a beautiful story.